looks at when we last posted this series. Damn, it's been a while.
What took you so fucking long?
It was a mix of a lot of things, to be honest with you. A lot of things.
I think we're just lazy.
No.
Personally.
Okay, maybe a little bit.
We were just lazy and we just didn't want to
Well, it was a mix of a lot of things, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But hey guys, welcome back to the Charming Analysis podcast. I'm Mari.
G.
And after when did we last actually post?
I don't remember.
I'm gonna look in a minute. I kind of want to look, but at the same time, I'm kind of nervous to look.
Start that podcast. You don't need to look.
I'm gonna look.
Oh
I'm curious. Let me see.
Honey.
It's not gonna take that long. It takes like 2 minutes.
I am so tired.
We posted part 2 3 months ago.
3 months ago, I told you, long while.
Okay, I had to mute my game. Sorry. Anyway, so it's been about 3 months since our last one. I thought it was longer, to be honest with you, but I'm glad it wasn't that long. But at the same time, it's been a while. So basically, why this has taken as long as it did was because this show's really fucking heavy. Mm-hmm. And also, I wanted to be able to put some other stuff out. We were going to do it, then we kept changing it. We were going to do it, and then we kept changing it. And here we are now, 3 months fucking later, mm-hmm. finally getting back to the series. So if you don't remember what happened last time, go watch part 2 of Breaking Bad, of our Breaking Bad analysis. We're gonna fucking finish this series. I don't know, but because here's the thing. So I'm doing all this before we start. Before we go on with the actual review of season 3, our goal is to try and finish this by September.
If you're gonna ask me what you think of season 1 or season 2,
we really don't remember.
It's been a while.
It's been way too long. We probably should have finished this series like 3 months ago. We should have finished it by now.
We should have.
But this isn't the only series we're focusing on though. So that's why we kind of put it off a little bit mm-hmm. to kind of do this one, do some other stuff. So yeah, basically we're back to doing it. But the goal is to finish it by September because as you guys know, we do the Halloween Spectacular and the Christmas Palooza around the holidays. So we're trying to get this done by September so that way we can still do our holiday stuff because it's going to be way too fucking hard for us to do this series like this when we already have holiday stuff planned. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, just a heads up. This is going to hopefully be done by September is the plan. But it shouldn't take us that long to finish the other 2 seasons, but we're probably going to wait a couple days before we start season 4. Because, oh my goodness, we literally spent 2 days watching this. This is how determined I was to finish this because I was like, fuck. This is taking so long. We need to fucking speed this up a little bit. Mm-hmm. Anyway, on to the review. Sorry, I kind of rambled there. So, for those who don't know, this is basically part 3 of our Breaking Bad analysis series. Because Jay wanted to fucking do this. You can blame Jay for this. Because he really wanted to watch.
I just wanted you to watch the show.
I know, but I thought we might as well do a podcast about it. So that way, it'd be interesting. Content.
You are dragging this intro forever.
Okay. But this is basically season 3 / part 3 of this. We have 2 more after this. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I'm off my soapbox now. Kicks the soapbox into oblivion. All right. So why don't you explain what season 3 was about, honey, since you said this is one of the better seasons in your opinion, and your favorite character is introduced in this one.
Okay, first off, they all blend in together for me. So it's just one continuous, just very long, very, very long episode.
Oh, Lord.
I can't tell because everything I thought was going to happen in season 4 probably happens in happened in season 3, but it didn't. So that's just
Sad.
Yeah, that's just sad. But I don't know. It's just like I forget how slow paced some of this is.
It's a slow burn from what you told me a while back.
It's probably going to be a slower burn when it comes to like around season 5, like good tail end of season 5-ish.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it was a slow season for sure. But it's just basically Walter is the first time working under Gus, and Pigman is mostly hiding out because of the shit that he's gotten into, and then like some stuff happens to Hank, and all this stuff. It's a very slow moving season. Not much happens in it.
There's like a main plot point and like a bunch of like side plots. So something else I will mention. This season and next season are both 13 episodes each, but they're like almost an hour long.
Yeah.
Which is... Were the other ones that long?
Yeah, they're around the same.
Okay, that's probably one of the reasons why it took us so long to finish the last two. And the first two. So, yeah. Basically, so one thing in this season that I actually was not expecting at first. Let's get the biggest plot point out of the way. Walter and Skylar almost fucking divorcing. I was actually not expecting that, to be honest with you. So that's the biggest plot point out of the way. Basically, Skylar finds out Walter has been a drug manufacturer, and he's basically been making drugs, and basically all the money he's been making, he's been lying to her, like, for the... I don't know how long is he technically doing this in, like, canon time? Like, do you know how long he's doing this? Like, per se? Because...
6 months.
6 months? 6 months? Really?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was longer than that. Holy shit.
It's going to take us 6 months to finish this.
It is not going to take us 6 months to finish this. We're finishing this by September.
I know.
Anyway, that's the biggest plot point. What did you think of that? Like, because I know from what you've told me, a lot of people when this was airing did not like Skylar. And
They did not.
And I can kind of see why.
They hated her.
I can kind of see why, though. In a sense.
But it was more like, why is this bitch wife getting in the way of him making a difference in the world? And I'm like, no. Like, it was more in favor of just Walt continuing to be, like, their macho fantasies.
Yeah.
And I was like...
Because let's get this out of the room. He is a handsome man, but to me, he's not that hot. But he's a handsome man.
I did not mean that. I meant like in a white term of like an incel.
Oh.
I meant that.
Oh, I thought you were.
I
thought you were about to say everyone was thinking he was hot and they were so distracted by their fantasies.
I was like, no, they were more like very, very sexist towards Skylar, and they were like, why does this bitch have to even exist?
Now I'm embarrassed. Okay, scratch that thought. Yeetus the fetus out of existence. Okay. So did you think it was something that added to the story, or you feel like they kind of wasted time?
I mean, it's fine. No, I think she would have to find out, and not in like some big reveal. It was kind of weird when she was like, well, now you're making like, now that we're divorced and you're making money, might as well mooch on the side. And I would be like, why not just cut him off entirely?
Like, that's something I was kind of surprised at, especially with how she acted, like, toward the beginning of, like, the season. Like, she really did not want him around, like, at all. She, like, physically did not want to be around him. She thought he was, like, the worst thing in existence.
Well,
kind of thing.
The only thing that was, I guess, like, Walter Jr. was, like, really mad at her for that.
Which I don't blame him for, because...
But, like, you could also explain to him, we're getting a divorce. I am not compatible with my husband anymore. I don't like him.
Yeah. Like, here's the thing, though. Like, I get why she didn't tell Walter Jr. why they're divorcing. I can understand that, but at the same time... The poor kid's probably wondering, what the fuck happened? Like, my parents were loving each other for, like, so long, and then what the fuck happened? Kind of thing. Like, it was kind of a surprise to him, and, like, I can understand his side of it. a bit. I feel bad for him in this. Like, Walter Jr. went through a lot of shit this season regarding his parents.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel so bad for that kid. Like, damn. That's definitely one thing that...
And
Holly. Like, literally, both of their kids went through so much shit this season.
But Holly's a baby. They don't know.
Yes. Also, Holly was... the baby that was in Skylar's tummy finally was born. I don't know if they were born last season, but they're prevalent in this season.
Why do you say it like that?
Well, because I don't remember if we mentioned that Skylar was pregnant for, like, the first...
I don't remember.
Season or two, I think? Yeah. Right?
I guess.
Anyway, they have another kid. For those who did not know, they do have another kid that was born sometime at the end of season 2, I think.
I think, yeah.
Anyway, I love that fucking child, like, baby. That baby is so cute.
Baby doesn't do anything.
I don't care. She's the only good character in it.
Well, it's a baby, so you know.
It's a baby. Still, baby cute. Baby adorable. I'm actually starting to also like Walter Jr. a lot more. Because, like, he's a good kid. I feel like he's a good kid. In a sense. Like, he's just trying to have a relationship with his parents. He's just trying to get through high school, I think. Right? Yeah. I'm starting to appreciate him a lot more. Like, at first I didn't really know what to think of him. But now that, like, it's been 2 seasons, I'm like, okay, he's gotten a bit more mature since, like, the first season. So another thing that I'm going to bring up, and this is one of the things that, like, bothered me a little bit. Like, here's the thing. This show is pretty heavy.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it's not heavy enough to where I don't want to watch it. I'm intrigued by this series. I don't know if I technically like it or not, but I like it enough to where... I'm still gonna watch it. Because I want to see how the fuck this shit ends. Because of all the shit that's gone on for the last, like, 3 seasons, I want to know how the fuck it ends.
Yeah, well, you're in too deep now.
Yeah, and, like, there's no going back at this point.
There's no going back to the quote.
Do not start putting the TV on.
I'm not. I'm just scrolling. Don't worry. I gotta do something while we record these things.
Oh, good Lord, Jay.
That's my...
Anyway, just at least mute it, though.
I will. But, okay, what did you think about Hank's, assholery?
Okay, that's another thing we're going to point out. Hank was a lot more involved this season.
Yeah.
Isn't this the most he's been involved compared to the other seasons?
Because he was trying to find the RV, and then, like, he was trying to link it all to, like, Jesse Pinkman, and
yes.
What's his alias? Miss
Heisenberg
is, and then he ended up getting, like, totally fucked by, like, Tuco's brothers.
Yeah, so if you guys...
Or not brothers, cousins.
Okay, so if you guys don't remember, Tuco was basically one of the villains in season 1? Right? 1 or 2? I think it was maybe 2, I'm thinking.
Around there. I think they introduced him in 1, and then they ended
the using
story in 2.
Okay, so basically... Tuco has 2 cousins that he was close with. I don't know if they were his bodyguards or not, but...
No, they were just... I think they were just, like, his compadres.
Yeah. So, they find out Tuco's fucking dead.
Yes.
And they end up being like, oh, we're gonna go on a fucking revenge spree because you do not fuck with our family. Kind of thing. So basically, they were originally going after Walt, and... because of Gustavo, who's another character that was introduced this series, he's basically... is he like a crime syndicate boss, I guess? What do you classify him as?
He is in range of the whole...
drug cartel.
Of the whole, like, I guess, where are they located? Arizona? Where would
Albuquerque.
Yeah, Albuquerque. Where would that be? North?
I think that's... Damn it, now you're going to have to make me look this shit up.
Isn't that New Mexico?
I think it is in New Mexico.
Okay, so...
It's in New Mexico, so that's like West Coast kind of deal.
I think that's his territory. Like, he has full control of that territory and where the shipment supply goes. So he's like, yeah, he's a big crime, like, syndicate. Like, not just in charge of the meth business, but also every crime that, like, goes on in there.
Which... I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But basically, he's a manager of a fucking chicken place during the day, and at night, he's a fucking crime syndicate boss.
Yes.
And I will admit, I actually do like Gustavo. I actually like him.
You just like him because he's handsome.
Well, I can't help that.
You just like it because he's pretty.
Shush.
You can't help it because he's pretty.
Don't judge me. I am pan. I'm pan romantic.
I'm pan too, bitch.
Okay, look, I'm pan romantic, but
Okay.
still.
Okay.
I'm demisexual, pan
okay,
romantic,
so going
non-binary.
back to Hank.
Going back to Hank.
What'd you think of his
I felt so bad for this man.
Did you?
Okay, half of it was me feeling bad for this man, but the other half was like, why are you being such a fucking dick? Like, I understand he's trying to, like, solve this crime, but I feel like he's too dick deep into it. Like, he's dick deep.
Too dick deep.
Yes, like, I feel like at this point, he just is doing it just to kind of satisfy his fucking ego. And I'm not trying to be mean about it when I say that, because here's the thing. So, it's always been prevalent in the series that Hank's trying to solve this issue. It's always been prevalent from season 1, but this is probably the most involved they had this subplot in this season. This is the most, so far in the series, this is the most that they've had this focus of this subplot.
Mm-hmm.
And because of how everything went with how the last couple seasons went, where it came to him not being able to find anything, this is the one time I think he actually had a genuine lead and was actually like, okay, maybe I can actually fucking figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
He ends up being scared to go to Mexico because of shit that happened in season 1. But if you need context, go to our first 2 podcast stuff, like, for this series. It's on our channel, but because I'm not going to get into all that because that's going to take like fucking forever, and we're already like 16 minutes in. Actually, 17.
We're already long term in here.
So yeah, if you need more context, go watch the show and basically watch our reviews for that. Anyway, Hank's been through a lot of shit this season. So one of the things that basically he goes through, and I don't know if this is like something that's going to affect him for the rest of the series. I'm assuming it probably would.
It will.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's probably going to affect him. But he basically, first off, gets fired from his job.
Yes.
He refuses to go to Mexico, I think?
No, Texas.
To try and figure out what's going on in the whole drug issue. Like, it was another issue itself. Did it have something to do with this case? I don't think it had anything to do with this case, right?
No, I think they're just precinct stuff. They have to, like, continue to move and stuff.
Yeah, like, I think the agency was so focused on the blue meth. Like, the blue death. I'm gonna call
they weren't focused on it at all.
It was more Hank focused on it.
Yeah.
Because it was causing a lot of trouble for, like, I think pretty much everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But, so because of that, something that I'm surprised that they ended up talking about was, like, I didn't even know he had issues with his wife. Like, because he was so, like, this is why I say dick deep, and I don't care if this is something I'm just saying, but whatever, but he was so dick deep into this case, it was starting to affect how him and his wife and stuff like that. Like, basically, it was starting to affect their relationship because, what's the wife's name for Hank? Hank's wife?
You're gonna make me think.
Well, yeah, we're both doing this together, so.
I know, but, like, I don't know.
I'm just gonna say Hank's wife. We're just gonna say that. Hank's wife was basically having so many issues with him basically. Maria? I'm gonna say Maria. Let's just say Maria.
No, I think it's Marie.
Okay, whatever.
Hey, it's
Marie.
Marie.
Yeah. Marie was basically having so many issues with Hank because of him being constantly gone trying to solve this mission. He was basically trying to solve this mission 24/7. And it started to affect her, like, really bad. Mm-hmm. To where, because of the Tuca's cousins not being able to go after Heisenberg, they ended up going after Hank instead. Much to the resentment of whoever asked them to take him out. So, I can't remember if Gustavo was in on it or not. I can't remember.
Yeah, he was.
Which I that's like
He ordered them to go kill Hank instead of whoever, instead of who else?
Walt.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting in a sense. Like
I go after the one who pulled the trigger.
I was not expecting that at first. I was like, oh shit,
Mm-hmm.
they're going after Hank, aren't they? And then I was like, so here's the other thing I found interesting.
And then Hank almost died.
Hank almost fucking died.
Yes.
Which I was also surprised at. That he almost fucking died. Out of everything that could have happened, that was something that ended up happening. And I was like, oh my goodness. And so it, like, thankfully he didn't die, which I was happy about. But he did end up, you say he got paralyzed from his legs down, I think? Right?
I think he's trying to learn how to walk again.
Yeah, but he got shot like so many times.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up killing both, I think, or at least one of Tuco's cousins. Did he kill?
He killed one of them, and then the other one got poisoned.
Poisoned and died.
Yeah.
So, basically, that happened, which I honestly thought was fucking insane. Hank is a fucking badass when it comes to shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which I will give him props for. That was honestly interesting seeing. Jake, get your head out of your shirt. Why you like this?
Continue.
Okay, so that was another issue that happened during the subplot.
Let's just talk about the other one thing that happened, and then we'll.
All right, and then we'll continue that. Okay, and then we'll continue talking about it. So, last subplot, and this was one I had a feeling was going to happen, but I didn't expect it to go the way it did. Skylar was basically having an affair with her work boss.
Oh, I thought you were going to mention the Gale.
Oh, actually, that is a subplot as well. Fuck.
Yes.
There's 4 subplots.
Because you like...
I will talk about him in a minute. We're going to talk about the elephant in the room. Skylar basically cheating on her husband with her work boss.
I don't care about that.
I'm just doing a basic plot. Basically, that happened. Walt was pissed about it. But this was before they got divorced, I think. Or supposed divorce. It never fucking went through. So they're technically still married. But still, that means she cheated on him.
Okay.
Alright, and then last subplot is basically Gale. This fucking angel of a person. I fucking loved Gale. He was awesome.
I know you loved Gale.
He basically was supposed to be Walt's new assistant because of Jesse being MIA for half the season again. Jake, you are not putting stuff on right now.
I know, just continue.
Anyway, so that was another subplot that happened, was meeting Gale. I actually liked Gale. I thought he was an interesting character. And spoiler alert, he ends up fucking dying. He gets shot in the face by Jesse, which I was honestly very shocked and surprised about, because that's the way they ended the season. You see the perspective of him shooting the gun, you're in front of the gun kind of thing, and shot, and then boom, season ends. And it's well, that's a way to fucking end the season. But at the same time, I was actually surprised they did that. It kind of scared me a little bit. I was like, what the fuck?
Yep.
So, alright, that's basically all the subplots. It was basically just, there was a plot where just Walt and Gale were just kind of bonding, and I actually thought it was kind of nice at first and stuff like that. I thought it was actually nice. I actually liked Gale. I'm sad that Walt was he missed Jesse so much. He tried to get him back, and then now he had to get Gale again, and then it ended up becoming to the point where they literally had to kill him, and it was really sad. Even though he was only in there for 3 episodes?
Yeah.
I was sad about that. And honestly, I feel like they could have done more with Gale, but they were just fuck it, let's just end him off, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so what are your thoughts on season 3? Since I talked for a good 24 minutes, what did you think of season 3?
It was slow paced. It was interesting, but I think it's all set up for what's gonna happen later. So,
it's basically a setup season.
Yes, it's a setup season,
which I can understand, because you're trying to make sure that Stuff is kind of padded out before you get to like all the deep dark shit. But at the same time, it's like, you know, I feel like they didn't have to pad it so much. To me, I will admit it was a bit slow this season. I don't know if it was slower than the last seasons, but definitely slower compared to that, in my personal opinion. I still can't believe how crazy this season got. So, I guess, what is something about this season that you liked and something that you didn't like? Well, I already know one thing you're going to point out is Gustavo. You're happy he's in it.
I'm happy he's in there. I don't know. I don't really care for setup seasons. I understand that they need to happen. I just don't care for them, and I just didn't particularly like how slow paced it was, especially in the first half.
Which I get.
So, I don't know, rating?
You want to rate it already?
Yes, what else is there to tell? Like, you're just, like, pretty much recap.
Fine. Okay, for me, I don't remember what I gave the other two, but, I feel like in terms of, besides it being kind of a setup season, in a sense, I do think it had a lot of good plot points. It was interesting enough to watch. Mm-hmm. Heck, there was a couple of times where I fell asleep, almost fell asleep.
Yeah, and I had to wake you up.
Just because it was late at night, so I'm not going to contribute it to the content. I'm probably going to give it probably like a 6.5 out of 10. I thought it was engaging enough to where I was at least enjoying it for the most part, but not enough to where the pacing was just... Stuff I'll take points off of is basically the pacing of it. I feel like they could have done a lot better with it. But I know why they're doing it. Compared to like other setup seasons, do you feel like this is one of the better ones or like one of the worst ones? Or like kind of just...
It's fine. It's still Breaking Bad and still gonna have good writing and like good cinematography. All that stuff. It's good. It's just slow pace, which I don't fault the setup season for that.
Yeah, which is fine.
Not my thing.
Which is fine. So what do you rate it out of 10?
I would rate it like, I don't know what I rated the others, so I'd probably rate this a 7.
You give it a 7? Okay. So, yes, we are finishing this, so you guys know. It's probably going to be a little bit until we do the next one, but we are going to be finishing this. The plan is to finish it before September ends. When September ends.
Okay.
I had to do that. I'm sorry. Anyway, we are going to finish it. The goal is to finish it by September, so that way we can get stuff done. And we will be doing other stuff in between that, but that's kind of what our main focus is going to be, along with a couple other things. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Also, Spider-Verse comes out soon. Please watch it. Jay's excited for it. Right, honey?
I'm just waiting for you to get your schedule so we can find out when we're getting tickets.
I know. I'm sorry.
All right.
Thank you guys for watching. And as always, I'm Mari.
And Jay.
And we're out.